Hey everybody, welcome to another comic book review. In this video, I'll be talking about Batman Hush by Jeph Loeb and Jim Lee. This book is revolving around a case that Batman has to go up against. He figures out that um, a lot of his main villains are out to get him for some reason, and it's unclear to him as to why. I mean, sure, they all have their own motivations as to why they could potentially want to go after him, but it seems like they're all linked together in this one big game, and there's this hidden figure in the shadows that they name Hush, who kind of seems to be controlling all of it. And nobody knows who Hush is. His face is always like wrapped up in bandages. He always stays in the shadows. And so it's up to Batman to basically figure out who is Hush, why is he sending all my main villains after me, and how can I get to the bottom of the case. And this is what Hush looks like right here. So he's got this cool trench coat and like his face is all wrapped up and really cool costume. So this is kind of like one of the seminal Batman storylines. Like this is one of the ones that people talk a lot about. And I see why they do. Is it one of my favorites? Not really, but I see why people love it as much as they do. First off, the writing by Jeph Loeb is spectacular. Um, he has written some of my all-time favorite Batman stories. His work with Tim Sale, I think, is practically flawless. He was the writer of The Long Halloween, which is easily, hands down, my all-time favorite Batman story ever written. And he brings his signature kind of like mystery storytelling back to this one. Because at the end of the day, this is another mystery. Just as Long Halloween was kind of like a murder mystery, detective, noir kind of story, this is the same type of thing, but it goes for more of like a sleek, modern kind of approach. And you get that with Jim Lee's art. It's in comparison to Tim Sale's in The Long Halloween, it's a lot cleaner, I would say. Um, and it looks more like deep. Like it has a lot more depth to it. I prefer Tim Sale's art, but Jim Lee does a wonderful job with the art duties on this book. He gives characters like very rich details in their faces, and the way he draws muscles is very, very detailed. Like he does a lot with real thin line work, and the inks in here are also very well done. I believe they're done by Scott Williams. Yeah, they're done by Scott Williams. So the art really holds up a lot for the story, for the type of story that they're trying to tell. The art holds up very, very well. When it comes to flaws I have with this book, I think towards the end it gets a little caught up in explaining things, which is kind of a big common problem with a lot of like whodunit mystery type of stories. Usually they have this giant exposition dump at the end for the big reveal, and they sort of had that for Long Halloween as well, but this one it comes off like as a little more hard to put together. And I mean, I understood it, but because there are a lot more moving parts in this story and a lot more characters to deal with than there was in Long Halloween and its follow-up Dark Victory, it feels like there's more to explain at the end. And also, I thought the reveal of who is Hush, it's a little predictable. Um, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but um, it is something that I saw coming pretty early on. But as far as like good Batman stories go, This one will give you what you want, most likely. If you're looking for like a good detective story that explores a lot of Bruce Wayne's past and also delves into his love life, this has a really interesting attempt at creating a romance between him and Catwoman. And it goes well for most of the story. At the end, it's a little uh, anticlimactic, I thought, but for most of the story, it works really well. That's kind of my main issue with this book. For most of the story, for most of the book, it works really, really well. And like for the last maybe 5 to 10 pages, it becomes a little convoluted in terms of its explanation and how it decides to end things. Um, but do I think it's worth a read? Absolutely. Even if it's just for Jim Lee's art alone. And I mean, Jeph Loeb's writing, like I said, is pretty great. He has this snappy dialogue between Batman and the villains. And yeah, I mean, if you like Jeph Loeb's writing style, especially when it comes to his mystery stories, I would recommend checking this one out. Um, yeah, so those are my thoughts on Batman Hush by Jeph Loeb and Jim Lee. Thank you as always for watching. Look forward to more videos in the future and have a great day.